I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Schmack-a-magab, it is time for the only news that matters. And for those attending Dweezil Zappa's Rock Apostrophe tour, you're in for a special event of tunes from two classic Frank Zappa album LPs that are celebrating 50 years since the original release, Apostrophe and Roxy and Elsewhere. However, there are also some special surprises included in these performances. During a chat with XLPX, Dweezil unveiled a somewhat obscure Van Halen tune that he and his band are performing at these shows, and also how it was his favorite Edward Van Halen guitar solo as a youngster. He said, one of the things that's a complete detour is I'm playing the song Push Comes to Shove from Van Halen's Fair Warning album. Because as a 12-year-old kid, it was my favorite guitar solo that I had ever heard, and Van Halen never played that song live. So I thought, well, we're doing the other thing that are kind of a first. Why not just play something that I really enjoy and have people get a chance to hear in a live situation? Additionally, Dweezil recounted that around the same time that Push Comes to Shove became a personal favorite, he also had the opportunity to meet the man himself and how they soon worked together. He said, as a kid, when I was 12, the very first thing that I ever recorded in the studio ended up being produced by Edward Van Halen, who randomly had called our house because he wanted to talk to my dad because he was building the 5150 studio in his house. And my dad had built the utility muffin research studio at our house. And he wanted to come see the studio to get some tips on what he should be looking out, for when building his own studio. So then only a few weeks later after that, I ended up working with him, producing this record. These two songs called My Mother is a Space Cadet and Crunchy Water. There you go, man. So Dweezil Zappa, man. That's really cool that he's pulling out that guitar solo live, because it is true. It is one of those songs that Van Halen never played live, It was, because a lot of Van Halen songs that weren't played live on those tours, but they did it back in the club days. But Push Comes to Shove was one of those new songs. It wasn't anything held from the past, or if it was never played live in clubs. And man, it is my favorite guitar solo off of Fair Warning. That song, that whole album's just freaking amazing, But, and the guitar work on that whole album, like that guitar solo in Sinner Swing, how it starts like it sounds like a horse, or what he does at the end of One Foot Out the Door, Mean Street, Jesus. That would be my second favorite solo off the album, what he does on Mean Street. But man, Push Comes to Shove is like another level. That one's really showing off why Edward Van Halen was the greatest guitar player ever in my world. And man, I've never seen Dweezil Zappa live, and he's coming down here. And yeah, I've been kind of like avoiding going to shows lately. I just don't like going to shows, but man, I think I will. I think I'm going to go see Dweezil Zappa. I mean, I love the Apostrophe album. I don't know that other album. I'm a casual Zappa fan. My favorite Chic Your Booty. But I love Zoot Allures, and I have Apostrophe, I have Overnight Sensation, I have Joe's Garage. And that's it. Oh, and Freak Out. That's all I got. But it's got to be in the mood for it, though I do really dig it when I'm in the mood for it. You know, I am a casual Zappa fan, and Dweezil's been down here several times doing, you know, Zappa Plays Zappa, a set of, you know, and I never seen Frank Zappa either. And I remember back in the day, Frank Zappa played 2 shows in one day at the Sunrise Musical Theater, and I still didn't go. But in my offense, I was in defense, not offense. In my defense, I was too young, you know. I didn't have a car. If I did, I would have went, man. But yeah, man, I'd love to go see it because I do love Dweezil's guitar work, man. Even though he does look like Ted Bundy. Did you ever see Dweezil and Ted Bundy in a room back in the day? I bet you didn't. Anyway, Van Halen rules, real Van Halen. And I like my Van Halen in order, man. My favorite Van Halen's the first album, then Van Halen 2, then Women and Children First, then Fair Warning, then Diver Down, and then 1984. Yes, it's in order. Though, lately I kind of feel like maybe I would put Fair Warning above Women and Children First, but I haven't got there yet. It seems like a tough call. I still think Women and Children First is a little better, but, you know, but I would never put Fair Warning above Van Halen 1 and 2. Though, those 2 albums are just unbelievable. Women and Children First, man. Oh, man, they're fighting it out. But, God, Women and Children First with Romeo Delight in a simple rhyme. Take your whiskey home. Everybody wants some Tora Tora out of control. God, the whole damn album. I even love Let There Be Magic. Fools. And The Cradle of Rock. I believe I mentioned all the songs. And Growth. And, yeah, so it's, I don't know, man. But then Fair Warning has Hear About It Later. Unchained. Oh, my God. At the moment, it's still in order. Order of release. And I don't dislike any of them. 1984 may be at the bottom, but I still love the album. I just feel like Diver Down, I don't care what people say about the whole, it's only covers. To me, it's not. All those covers to me sound different than the original. So, and even Dancing in the Street is musically something that Edward Van Halen came up with, but never got around to putting the lyrics down and stuff, and they just added the lyrics to Dancing in the Street. It's all original music to me, man. Where have all the good times gone? I've brought this up before, and many people would say, oh, well, where have all the good times gone? They ripped off David Bowie from the David Bowie album Pinup. Bullshit. I mean, all right, I'll admit it's closer to the David Bowie version than the King's version. I will admit that, but still, it's different, man. I love Diver Down. I defend Diver Down, you know. I put it above 84, and of course, I put it above everything else after that. You know, even A Different Kind of Truth, which I love. I love the hell out of that album. But to me, it's all about the six-pack, though, man. Michael Anthony, you know, David Lee Roth, Edward and Alex Van Halen. That, to me, essential Van Halen. By the time Wolfgang came in, they were still great. And I got to say, the first tour, that first reunion tour, Dave was awesome. I've never heard Dave sing that good. I don't know what the hell happened after that. And it was funny because on that tour, the reunion, Dave was great, but Eddie was a little off, man. I'm talking about the Sunrise show I saw, and I have a bootleg of it. And, you know, he doesn't nail Ice Cream Man. Yeah. But then after that tour, the Different Kind of Truth tour and the Farewell tour, those 2 shows is the best time I've ever seen Edward Van Halen play. I'm telling you, better than all the times I saw him in the 80s, which, you know, when I saw him in the 80s, it's like, there's no doubt this is the greatest guitar player ever in my world. I thought the last 2 tours he did, he was the best. Where Dave sounded like a dying frog. You know, it was a little sad, you know, seeing Dave up there croaking through songs. Yeah, I'll admit it, man. I'm no Dave sheep. even though he owns Sammy Hagar badly. Dave to the grave, baby. I'll take Dave's voice at its worst over Sammy's at its best. This ain't about Belcher. Screw him. He sucks. It's about the mighty Van Halen. And I think I am going to go see Dweezil Zappa. You know, do his dad shit. I love Apostrophe. And man, I'd love to see him play that Push Comes to Shove. It'd be awesome. What do you all think? Leave it in the comments below. What do you feel about Push Comes to Shove? To me, it's not the best song off Fair Warning, but it's the best solo. What do you feel? Leave it in the comments below. Is there a solo you like more on Fair Warning than Push Comes to Shove? Let me know. And everybody out there, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Ring that little notification bell and like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty. Listen to Black Sabbath and Schmack 'em Macabre.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.